Clear tonight, low 30. For tomorrow, sunshine, high 50. The outlook for Wednesday, sunny and 60. Cloudy and 65 on Thursday. And for Friday, scattered showers with a high 65. Overnight low was 48. Yesterday's high was 56, an inch and 13/100ths of an inch of rainfall yesterday yesterday here at the WFIW studios. Currently, humidity is at 100%. Winds out of the north at 8 miles an hour. Pressure at 29.97. Cloudy skies right now. It's dropped to 48 here at the WFIW studios east of Fairfield. It's time for morning coffee for this Monday. It is brought to you by TTT Designs in Fairfield. They can bring your design to life. Stop in and let TTT Designs complete your vision. Custom printing available on search sizes newborn through 5XL. Visit them Tuesday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. at 1411 West Main in Fairfield.
And a pleasant, drizzly morning, and we're so happy to have our old friend Walt Townsend here. Walt, thanks for coming in. We really appreciate it.
My pleasure.
And we're going to learn more from Walt. He always likes to teach when he comes in as well, so we're going to learn more from him in a few minutes. Did you go out to that auction on Saturday, Walt?
No, I didn't.
They said they had some antique tractors out there for that one. Boy, there was a crowd.
It was busy.
And when people show up with trailers, they think they're going to buy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there were a bunch of trailers out there. Wanted to mention we're having our auction come up on Saturday. Our auction here, the radio auction. Very carefully, I want to understand. I want you to explain.
Something's changed from past years.
You cannot buy in the auction with cash or check. You're going to have to go online and buy with a debit card or a credit card. We're going to be able to tell you exactly how to do that. And if you can't do that, you can come out here and we'll help you do it.
Yeah.
But that's the big difference. And one of the things that we just added, $250 value H&R Block tax preparation, which you could probably bid. It'll probably start half that amount. You could really save some money in your tax preparation. So that's coming up on Saturday, 9 o'clock, here on the three radio stations, all three radio stations. O'Reilly's did something special at their remote on Saturday that you were ably broadcasting. Tell us about it.
Well, they announced they were going to make a $200 donation to the FCHS athletics department.
Nicely done.
Yeah, head coach, basketball coach Scott McElravy was out to accept it on behalf of the school.
Good.
But,
good.
It was a very nice gesture on their part.
Yes, boy, did they have some nice food out there.
I
wish I had known about. I wish I'd known about that before I went and ate breakfast.
Well, you could have ate anyway.
No, I couldn't.
Derek did.
Yeah, I'm sure he did.
Derek
well,
did.
He had my portion too. Then.
Yeah, and my portion, and about 3 or 4 other people's portions, I think, too.
Well, the mayor had told you that they were going to start work on the Casey's downtown, with the old Airtex property.
Work. They had moved some more equipment in.
And Walt, our able reporter, says they're there, ready to start work.
Came by there. They had a couple of crews there, had the doors open, and looked like they were kind of checking things out and figuring out how they were going to proceed. So probably looked different this evening.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Another convenience store.
Yeah, another convenience. And the mayor also did tell me Saturday they're going to keep the south end Casey's open.
Really?
For at least a little bit.
Good.
Because they want to gauge,
right,
you know, how busy it is going to be, and very well could stay open full time.
I got to tell you, that's a valuable place when you're going out to the interstate. That's very convenient.
Yeah, and if you're getting off the interstate, say if you need gas, that's the first place you come to.
I bought the Powerball at that place on Friday, and there was one winner in Illinois.
But it wasn't you.
No, I'm here.
Because you're here.
I would have called Mark Lang and said, listen, I'm done. But I didn't, even though I love doing this. I just want to say that. Yeah. I did not place at the Liars Banquet.
Now that's a surprise.
I told the story of trying to get even, that revenge is a dish best served cold, and my life as my nickname Cold Gravy in high school. You know why they called me Cold Gravy?
Because you were slower than Cold Gravy.
Cold Gravy doesn't run. Neither did I, but it didn't work. Dale Braddock, the pride of Mayberry, and I got into an argument with my wife about that. I said, he's from Mayberry. And she said, well, where's that? And I said, it's just south of Wayne City. And she said, I lived in Wayne City. There's no such thing as Mayberry. And I said, you're wrong. And I looked it up. It was in Google. You put it in, unincorporated area south of Wayne City. There it was.
There's even a sign.
Yes. Come on, Carol. Get with it. She's
Man, you are digging yourself a big hole, man.
She's just full of it because she was the mystery voice. That's all I've got to say about it.
Okay.
Anyway, and she doesn't listen in the morning anyway, so I'm good. She's going to work.
Yeah, but she's got friends.
Yes,
Yeah,
well, obviously
that's right.
somebody identified her as the mystery voice. Anyway, I also want to say that so I didn't place.
Yeah.
Okay, but I had fun, and it was well done.
All right.
And I really appreciate the invitation by Don Sutton. And finally, I wanted to say that I talked to Max Weaver over the weekend. Max had a heart valve surgery last week, and only a day afterwards, they were able to get his heart back in rhythm. And he went for a walk yesterday afternoon. So he was actually out motoring around the neighborhood on foot. And just to confirm, I'll miss seeing him on the corner, and I'll miss seeing him at Rotary and at the festivals and stuff like that. But I think the Robsons have bought themselves a really fine business.
I partook in some Big Boy Catering barbecue over the weekend.
You sampled the product.
I sampled the product, and
You're okay.
I'm good with it.
Are you much of a barbecue aficionado there, Walt?
No, but I do enjoy food and have spent some money at Max's.
Max was an easy buy for me at the fair. Always sitting back there in his high chair.
Yep.
All right, I got in my hands my pork burger stained hand, the bucket of bunk.
All right.
We ready for it?
Yep.
Birthdays today. Howard Cosell would have been, he was born in 1920, so he would have been old today.
Yeah.
He died in 1995.
He was a lawyer by
Yes, he
trade
was.
initially, wasn't he?
He was. He was a lawyer, described as blustery. He described himself as arrogant, pompous, obnoxious, vain, cruel, and verbose.
Boy, he hit that right on the head. Man.
One wife, Emmy.
Really? Only one?
One wife.
I
yeah.
would have thought with his arrogance
Nope.
and stuff, he would have had
she,
more than one.
and she tolerated him just like my wife tolerates me.
Now, it doesn't say when they got married. Maybe it was when he was 80.
No,
No?
it was a long-term one,
Long
Walt,
term?
like 45, 50 years.
Okay.
In 93, TV Guide said that he was, quote, the all-time best sportscaster in history, end of quote.
Billy Crystal did an amazing Howard Cosell imitation.
Yes, he did. And he looked marvelous doing it.
He looked marvelous.
He was a lawyer, as you said, Walt, or Mark, and he hosted a show on the Little League while an attorney, and then just decided he's going to quit law, he's going to become a sports broadcaster, and that's what he did. That's a real leap of faith.
That is, yeah.
He was known for his interactions with Muhammad Ali and his announcement of John Lennon's death on Monday Night Football.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It was, and then he got himself in big trouble. And this could never happen today, but he described two athletes, one being Alvin Garrett, who was a wide receiver for the Redskins, and Willie McGee, center fielder for the Cardinals,
Right.
as quote unquote monkeys.
Oh.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
Both African American, both took great umbrage,
Yeah.
you would think.
Yeah.
That was a different time, wasn't it? Still, ouch.
I remember his interactions with Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali would always refer to him as Howard Cosell.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah, always use both, his first name and his last name. And I'm going to tell you, Howard Cosell.
There was some very interesting, but Cosell was an unabashed Ali supporter.
Oh, yeah.
Jim Lovell today is 91. He's still with us.
The astronaut.
Apollo 13, the only astronaut to fly to the moon twice without making a landing.
Wow. I didn't know that. I didn't know he did it twice.
He did. He was the commander of one of the ones, Apollo 8, that didn't land. You know, he just
okay,
circled.
just circled, yeah.
In 99, he started a restaurant in Lake Forest, Illinois, with artifacts from Apollo 13. It failed. He He did a cameo. Did you know he was actually in Apollo 13, the movie?
No.
The one with Hanks?
Yeah, I did not know that.
He was the captain of the USS Iwo Jima, where they landed.
Right, and the helicopters went out to pick him up.
That was him. Other people on that flight, Jack Swigert was elected to Congress but died of cancer.
Kevin Bacon played him in the movie.
That's right. And Fred Haas, who is 85.
Yep.
And he's still alive.
Bill somebody or other.
Yeah, he's not with us either, I don't think.
Bill Paxton. Bill Paxton played him in the
I think
movie.
he's gone.
And
isn't
Gary
he?
Sinise was in that movie, too.
Yes, he was.
So,
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
All right. Aretha Franklin, birthday today. She died in 2018 at the age of 76. Can you give me some of her hits?
Respect.
Yes.
Chain of Fools.
Yes.
You Make Me Feel Like a Natural Woman.
You hit the top three, dude. You've spun some records. There's no doubt
I have
about
spun
that.
a few.
112 charted.
And Pink Cadillac.
That's right.
She did a remake of Pink Cadillac.
112 charted records. 4 children, sons, all different fathers. Maintained a home in Detroit, Michigan. That's where her family was. That's where she was raised. She was afraid of flying. She was also a chain smoker and struggled with alcoholism. Neither thing that I realized. And she said that the smoking really affected her voice late in her life, as it would.
Yeah.
Elton John! Elton John, after talking about him all last week.
Well, no, we didn't talk about Elton John last week. We talked about Elton Juan last
Elton
week.
Juan, who's going to be over at Wabash Valley College.
I'm thinking about getting tickets.
I might go with you.
I'm thinking.
Let's talk about that. Let's see if we can put that together. I'd love to go there and touch Elton Juan.
Yeah.
Born Reginald Kenneth Dwight. He teamed with Bertie Taupin on songwriting. Sold more than 300 million records. Married twice. Currently married to David Furnish. They have 2 sons. He's worth $265 million, and he's doing his goodbye tour for the next 3 years.
Man,
He's 72.
I bet he ends up in Vegas.
Oh, I bet he does, too.
I bet he does, yeah.
Danica Patrick is 37 today.
The race car driver.
She's retired now.
Oh, okay.
But the most successful woman in open-wheel racing history. She won the Japan 300, the only woman to ever win a Indy Series event. Get a load of this. You know who we're talking about, Walt? Danica Patrick.
Yes.
She's 5'2", 100 pounds.
Soaking wet.
I got one leg that's that heavy.
A strong wind would blow her away.
And yet she was able to, she must be wiry.
Well, my dad always said you got to watch the little ones.
Your dad
well,
was
you know,
right.
she spent a lot of time in London. She's not just wiry; she's wiry.
You know what I was fascinated by is,
5'2".
as I looked at her bio, she's from Beloit, Wisconsin, right on the border in Illinois with Illinois. She dropped out of high school with her parents' permission to go to Great Britain to further her race career. Dropped out of high school.
Wow.
She was married in 2005 to a physical therapist who was, she went there because she had a hip injury doing yoga. See, I've always said that yoga is dangerous.
Yeah. It was a very vigorous yoga class.
Clearly. Hip injury, went there. This guy helped her out. This guy helped her out, okay?
Yeah, he helped her out.
Yeah.
She helped him out
Sounds
financially.
like it. She got rid of him. And now she dates Aaron Rodgers.
The quarterback for the Packers.
Yes, since the middle of last year.
Really? That's a long time.
She's known by her first name around the world, Danica. When you say Danica, it's sort of like saying Madonna.
Really?
You know who it is, yeah. Her net worth is $60 million, so I imagine Aaron's bringing a little money to that relationship as well.
Bring a little bit.
They might be able to vacation without borrowing any money. On this date, March 25th, in 1306, Robert the Bruce was crowned King of Scotland. That's sort of like Terry the Bruce is the king of the Illinois Eastern Community Colleges. You know what I mean? Robert the Bruce.
I remember it well.
1306.
Yeah. Well, you know, you saw it at the end of Braveheart.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
1813, the frigate USS Essex flew the first U.S. flag in battle in the Pacific. 1900, the U.S. Socialist Party was formed in Indianapolis. It's making a comeback. 1941, the first paprika mill was incorporated in South Carolina. I didn't realize that paprika was a...
I didn't realize that was such a big date in history.
It was. It's a big one in 41. 1947, I don't remember. I mean, obviously I wasn't born, but I don't remember the history of this. Maybe you do, Walt. Not that I'm saying you're old or anything, although you are older than me, I might point out. 1947, a coal mine explosion in Centralia killed 111 people on this date.
May I talk about
Please,
that?
please.
My 4-H leader growing up in Effingham County was coming through Centralia after that happened, and the state police stopped traffic, and they commandeered the able-bodied men, including him, and they took him, and they had to help lay out the bodies and stuff.
That'd be a horrible thing to volunteer
high school.
for.
I think it was at the high school of their armory. And they just stopped the traffic and pulled the able-bodied
Said,
men
you're going to help out
cars.
with this.
We're martial law.
111 people. That you would think I would have remembered in history that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I think it may have been like an election day, and he was active in politics. Said, I got to get home to vote. That didn't cut any mustard.
Yeah.
March 25th.
Now, and now, correct me if I'm wrong, Walt, but that really was not the worst mine disaster in southern Illinois. Wasn't there one that killed even more folks down like Benton, West Frankfort, that area?
I don't know.
I think you're right. I think I've heard of that.
And we worked up north before we came here, and they had a mine disaster at Cherry. And the terrible thing about that was they sent a doctor and a couple of people down in the cable car, and they had agreed that if they didn't know what they'd find, and if they sent a certain signal that they'd bring them up, because it might.
Yes.
And the signals came back jumbled, and the operator wouldn't bring them back up, and finally the people watching forced them to. And all the people were dead in that car.
Oh, no.
And but yeah,
that was on this date in 47 that happened in Centralia. In 1954, RCA manufactured the first color TV set and began mass production. Do you remember your first color TV set? Either one of you? You remember what year it was about?
No.
Go ahead.
Add a thing back on Centralia. Yes. Their sports teams, the orphans.
Right.
That's where it comes from.
Really? I thought it was because there's an orphanage there.
No.
Son of a gun. I didn't know that.
I did not know that either.
So just think of how many families 111 would touch.
Orphans. Absolutely. I never thought of that either. Do you remember when you had your first color TV? Do you remember it was a big deal or not?
I just remember first TV was the big deal.
I just remember always having a color TV.
No, not me. I remember we got one in about 1965. And it was a big deal to turn on. Oh, actually, we went to a friend's house to watch Disney, the wonderful
world of Disney.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it was a color.
Yeah.
Color program. I
think, and whenever the kids went, they always had a job on those old TVs.
Yes.
You need to get up and change that channel.
Yeah. No remotes. I remember Bonanza being color for the first time.
Yeah.
We were talking last week about My Favorite Martian, the comedy show.
I don't ever remember seeing a color version of My Favorite Martian. A
color 36.
Episode.
Only 36 of the 110 were color. The rest of them were black and white. So there was a defining mark somewhere in the 60s where they stopped doing black and white. I don't ever remember
seeing a version of My Favorite Martian. I remember seeing some Andy Griffith shows that were in color, but...
Here's something that was novel. In '83, the U.S. Congress passed legislation to rescue the U.S. Social Security system from bankruptcy. Guess we'll never have to deal with that again.
Yep.
In 1995, boxer Mike Tyson was released from jail after serving 3 years for some activity unbecoming a boxer, or anybody else for that matter. 1960 in music history, Roy Orbison recorded Only the Lonely. 1961, Elvis performed his last live show. For the next 8 years in Pearl Harbor, he donated $62,000 to the U.S. Arizona Memorial Fund. The Beach Boys released their album, Surfin' USA, on this date. The 58th and final episode of the Monkees TV show occurred in 1968. And in 1991, Michael Jackson escorted Madonna to the Oscars, also a small chimp.
Bubbles.
Madonna was the one wearing the
push-up
dress.
bra.
That's a look at the Bucket O' Bunk, and we'll be back, and Walt's going to enlighten us after this break.
Who's a sweetheart? Who's Auntie Sprintern's pal? You are. Oh, Donna, he's so cute.
Thanks, isn't he? Ugh, I wish my wireless bill were cute. I hate opening this thing every month.
Stop overpaying for wireless and upgrade to the brilliant iPhone XR with Sprint.
Why?
Because Sprint will give you both an unlimited plan and the brilliant iPhone XR lease for just $35 per month.
Both? For that price?
Both.
Was that?
April showers bring March umbrellas. Brighton's Enchanted Garden umbrella is free with $100 purchase of Brighton. It's the prettiest way to brighten your day when the rain comes. What's new in the spring collections? Tribal, stars, stripes, fringe, and vintage graffiti tees. In Jag, the Amelia Slim in light gray, and the #1 Amelia Cuffed Hem in denim. Dresses from casual to Easter look, size small through XXX. Stop by and let the Carnaby girls tempt you with a new ensemble. Every day is a fashion show, so join the Carnaby Runway.
Fairfield Memorial Hospital is proud to be celebrating their first anniversary at the Sisney Medical Clinic. To thank the community and patients for their support of the clinic, Fairfield Memorial Hospital is having a celebration on Friday, March 29th from 2 to 5 p.m. at 413 Park Street in Sisney. Stop by and take a tour of their modern, comfortable exam rooms, meet the staff, enjoy light refreshments, and register for several door prizes from local businesses and one grand prize. Fairfield Memorial Hospital, excellence in healthcare.
At FNB, we believe in us, not us the bank, us the farmers, us the families, us the community. That's why we continuously and proudly support, invest in, and volunteer throughout our region. So whether you're from Fairfield, Wayne City, Sisney, Grayville, or anywhere in between, you'll always find a friendly and helpful neighbor right here at home. FNB, Banking Business Life. Member FDIC.
Hi, this is Bill Stevens with another time capsule quiz. Which month and year was it when the Vatican said it was okay for Catholics to eat meat on Fridays? U Thant was re-elected as Secretary General of the UN. The Green Bay Packers won the NFL title, the Kansas City Chiefs the AFL, and the two teams made a date for the first Super Bowl. For its Man of the Year, Time magazine chose people 25 and under. We said farewell to Walt Disney, and here's what the new music sounded like.
East, west, telling like it is. I'm coming home soldier. That's life. I'm a single girl. I got the feeling I'm knowing you. Call me mellow yellow. No! Words of love. Sugar town. Mustang Sally. There's a place in the sun. Georgie girl.
All these songs came out together, but when? The answer and a little taste of the top song from the month and year are coming up.
December 1966. Winchester Cathedral.
The new Vaudeville Band and Winchester Cathedral, the top song of December 1966. This is Bill Stevens for tcapsule.com. Back soon with another time capsule.
I've
folks, this is Sandy at Gale Sales and Service. Here in Southern Illinois, we are on the verge of spring. Woohoo! To move out the old and bring in the new, we are having a sale on some of our discontinued items. There are dishwashers, ranges, side-by-side, and top-mount refrigerators and dehumidifiers on the list with up to 20% off. Come in soon and check on these sale items to receive some excellent values. That's Gale Sales and Service at 1605 West Main in Fairfield. Check them out on our website at gilesales.com.
This is the show about nothing. Morning Coffee, streaming on YouTube and live on the station listened to, not just heard. WFIW.
Morning Coffee is brought to you by TTT Designs at 1411 West Main in Fairfield. Open Tuesday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m.
I think Walt's a little offended that we promote the show he's here as the show about nothing. We do that for everybody, Walt.
And here's Walt.
Yeah, and here's Walt.
Walt to prove it.
Walt, when I have got a lot of, as they say, some folks say here in Wayne County, I got some flowers. When can I plant my flowers?
Well, if they're frost sensitive, the roughly average frost-free day is about the middle of April, about tax time. But it can vary. And luckily, we can look at the forecast to see if they're predicting any later freezes. But that's when you can miss the frost. But something like tomatoes, they're not going to grow too much until we get the soil warmed up. So we're usually looking around May 1st for that.
All right. So tell us about the maters and what we need to know about that.
Well, I may give more information they want. There's two types of tomatoes, determinate and indeterminate, and it is in relation to their growth habit. Mm-hmm. The determinate will usually get about 4 feet tall, and then they produce fruit. And
wait a minute, fruit? I want maters.
Produce your tomato fruit, and they only get so tall. The indeterminate just keeps on growing and growing, and you probably will have to pinch back the tips to control the height. And if you see my wife's uncle grew one that was 17 feet tall.
Holy
and
moly.
That definitely is an indeterminate variety, and they should produce longer in the season. And the fruit tomatoes will be along the branches, whereas the determinate usually are at the end of the branches. And then to confuse it a little bit, there's semi-determinate varieties, which would be kind of a mix of the two. And then with tomatoes, we got acid and low acid tomatoes. So look at the tag on the plants and see if it's acid or low acid, if that is a concern to you.
Well, it is a concern to me because I eat so many of them. If I get a whole of fresh ones, if there's acid, I can feel it in the inside of my mouth after about a week. So I like the non-acid ones.
There you go. Check the label. And then I've had people ask me, the tag will have letters on it, like VFN, and the V refers to verticillium wilt resistance. Mm-hmm. The F is fusarium wilt resistance, and there's two races that, 1 and 2. And then seeing more now, the letter N, that would be resistance to nematodes, which are microscopic worms that feed on the roots.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the diseases that we have trouble with in tomatoes is blossom end rot. And some varieties, they may mention a little resistance to blossom end rot. And I saw on the internet someone was suggesting planting an anti-acid tablet with each tomato plant.
Really?
To reduce the effects of blossom end rot.
You mean like a Tums?
Like a Tums.
Like a Tums, okay.
And it does have a relationship to calcium, which is what the anti-acid tablets are. And we usually see blossom end rot when we have wet soils and then dry soils, wet soils, and the bottom of the tomato, where the blossom would be, is rotted.
Right.
And so that can be a problem. And then on the tag, it should have the days to harvest, and that's from when you set it out till you get your first tomato.
So to give you like 2 months or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it can range from 45 days to 100 days. The 45 days would be the early girl hybrid, and that's early.
So if you planted them the 1st of May, it'd be the middle of June,
probably. Yeah.
Well, on the varieties I plant, if I get one by the 1st of July, I think I'm doing good, unless it's a cherry tomato.
Right.
And then like the 100-day, that's over 3 months, almost 3.5 months. That would be some of your old heirloom varieties. And
I don't care what they are as long as they're maters.
Well, there's the difference. On taste, everyone's got their own choice, but I've got 3 here I'd throw out, and Cherokee Purple, Mortgage Lifter, and Arkansas Traveler.
You brought us a purple one last year, didn't you?
Yeah, you did.
Those, I like them. They were good.
Tasted good.
What's the Mortgage Lifter?
It was a tomato developed back during the Depression, and the person produced plants and sold them.
That's okay. Zoom tight.
I'll probably be twice.
All right. Oh, no, 2 times. Oh.
Excuse me.
That's okay.
And he sold them and paid his mortgage, and they are good tomato. Now, the #1 tomato in the U.S., and I make sure I plant some of these, is Celebrity. And it's just a real good all-around tomato, but it doesn't make the top 3 in terms of taste.
All right.
I think we're going to go ahead. We got a call.
Yeah, we do. Good morning. You're on Morning Coffee. Could you turn your radio down, please? Hi, you're on Morning Coffee.
Yeah. You were talking about tomatoes, and for years I considered that a vegetable.
Right.
Anyway, I was doing some research, and I got something out of a book. Tomatoes are not vegetables; they're a fruit.
Right. That's what Walt was telling us. I was confused when he said that.
Well, the thing of it is, the type of fruit, I went ahead and researched it out. It belongs to the berry family.
To the what family?
Berry.
The dairy. Really?
Berry.
Yeah.
Berry. Really?
Didn't realize
that. That came from my time at the university.
Oh, okay.
Well, we appreciate that.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for the info.
Walt, tell us about that. That the truth?
I heard it on the radio.
It has to be true.
Now, I got 2 more things.
All right.
Now, one, there's a company called Bonnie, and they sell top-notch plants, single plants in a single pot.
And they've been around for a while.
Yeah, but they're outrageously expensive.
Mm-hmm.
You can buy 6 of them in a flat for less than what you pay for that one Bonnie plant.
We got another call. Walt,
Good
we got
morning.
people wanting
You're
to
on
ask you
Morning
questions.
Coffee.
Nope, not there. Sorry. Go ahead. So you're saying that's what you're talking about? You'd order it over the internet and they'd ship it to you? Or?
No. You go to some of the stores,
right,
and they'll have these Bonnie plants, and they're great. There's nothing wrong with them. In fact, they're super. They're just very
awfully expensive. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And you can go same place or other places and get 4 or 2 or 6 in a flat for real reasonable. And I got one last thing. Now, this is new to me, is grafted tomatoes. I saw them in Jung catalog for the first time this year. $8.50 a piece plus shipping. And I researched it. And when you graft, you take the top of a plant and grafted onto the rootstock of another plant. And what they do is some tomato plant that has a vigorous root system, and they graft any variety onto that, and they say that you can about double your production. And that these greenhouses that grow tomatoes inside, they say most of those are grafted. But
I got to ask you, Walt, you're out there in the middle of nowhere, out there on the other side of Sisney, right? Or Jeff, rather.
West of Jeff.
West of Jeff. You have much wildlife cause trouble to your tomatoes, and what do you do about it?
Not too much trouble with the tomatoes now. We do have a lot of trouble with deer, squirrels. We have to fence our garden in, and of course the squirrels can get through a fence or climb over it. But we've had turtles eat low-hanging tomatoes, and also squirrels, but not too bad on the tomatoes. But of course the deer can't even get to them.
Because you got them fenced in.
Yeah.
I love tomatoes. I really do. And we were talking about putting some in the backyard, but we're going to put a fence around it so that the hounds don't have themselves a BLT, which they've been known to do.
Or an SLT,
yes.
Spam, lettuce, and tomato.
They love that Spam. They do love that Spam. They've gone cold Spam. We've taken them off that and put them back on Purina.
Ah, okay.
They were not happy about that.
I'm guessing not.
But we looked at it, and that not only was the Spam more expensive, it wasn't good for them. That's all salt and pork byproduct.
Made their hair slick, didn't it?
It did make their hair slick. And if you're going to have a hound, you need to have a slick hound.
See, I don't have that problem.
Yours is slick as they can come because you don't have any hair on you. It's a hairless dog.
Well, it's got a little hair on the tip of his tail and on top of his head.
I can relate to that.
Yeah. So,
anyway, well, there you go. You told me that I can't plant, even though I'm not probably going to do tomatoes right away. It'll be May before my wife forces me to go out and do something about that. But the flowers, I desperately wanted to grow morning glories along a fence. I've wanted to do that for years. I did it here in Fairfield along a fence that I had, 10, 15 years ago, but I have not been successful since. And I'm doing everything I can to try to do it again this year.
With morning glories, you failed?
I failed with morning glories.
Like
well, there were. I had
That's
some.
what I was thinking too. I was like, I don't know anybody that's had problems growing morning glories.
I've got a black thumb. I was able to plant them, and I got a few, but I planted a bunch, and waited for the explosion of color.
Didn't happen.
Did not happen, and so I thought maybe I might have planted them too early or too late. I'm not sure, but they didn't come.
Well, they'd be a warmer plant. That'd be a good one to plant around 1st of June or something.
Really?
Middle
that
of
late?
May.
You think so?
Yeah.
I did. I waited. I did it at probably 20th of April or something like that, and it just didn't work.
You're just too eager.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
One last thought on tomatoes.
Yes.
And tomatoes, you can plant them deep. If you run across spindly tomato plants, don't be scared of them as long as they're healthy. You can dig a deeper hole and plant them deep, and they'll put out new roots all the way up along the stem. And some people will do this intentionally so that the tomatoes, the roots are deeper and have a more uniform soil moisture.
Let me ask you something. Stop me when we need to break, Mark. You're in charge here. What about the farmers right now? When are they going to? They can't get anywhere near the fields right now, can they?
No, it's a good time to avoid your farmer friends.
Yeah, they're probably not real happy right now.
No.
It's bad, isn't it? I mean, it's going to be a while before they can get out there.
Right. And mention that back in 1983, California had these big floods.
Right.
And this year they ended their 7-year drought with the floods. And then in 1983, Wayne County had a drought.
Right.
I'm keeping my fingers crossed.
Uh-oh. Because we've got a real wet spring going so far.
Well, I'm watching California. That's my benchmark.
Going to take a break?
We do need to take a break.
Walt's got some trivia. You need to talk to somebody this morning?
We do. We've
All right.
talked to Sheldon Bunning.
Oh, looking forward to it.
Most business owners' plates are full. In order to have success with marketing, you need to create a clear message and action plan. Call me, Jeff Murphy, to help you take care of all your time-consuming work at 842-2159 WFIW. The Big Deal Store has a great deal on Bopple's home furnishing certificates. Pick one up and get a great value on top quality furniture at Bopple's Home Furnishing in McLeansboro on the south side of the square.
Post frame buildings continue to pop up all over the area. And at Graver Post Buildings, they've been putting up buildings for over 40 years. Garages, pole barns, storage buildings, workshops, apartments, even indoor basketball courts, and some of the most attractive commercial buildings in the state. Every job is specific and unique to your wants and your needs. Graver Post also has packages for contractors and do-it-yourselfers. So for your next building or roofing project, call for a free quote at Graver Post, 800-264-5013.
Black's Fashion Flowers in downtown Fairfield can make any occasion more special with custom-designed floral arrangements and gift items. Check out their selection of Southern Illinois-made Ravenswood Hollow soaps and lotions, Fannie Mae candies, Southern Sisters gourmet food items, and clean-burning soy candles. Black's also has a wide selection of sympathy items. Plus, they're your home for tuxedo rentals from Jim's Formal Wear. Give them a call at 847-7076 or stop in at 310 East Main. Black's Fashion Flowers, your florist with a personal touch, across from the courthouse in downtown Fairfield.
I shop as hard as you shop to bring you the best values at Ubinger's Furniture Company in Flora. This is Sherry Harvey, owner of Ubinger's Furniture, inviting you to see over 25,000 square feet of quality furniture, bedding, and accessories from nearly 20 respected names. You may also see samples of our merchandise at ubingers.com. We've been dedicated to our customer satisfaction for over 30 years, so you can trust us to furnish your home with the personal service and style you deserve at Ubinger's Furniture Company, Highway 50 East, Flora.
With spring actually here, we see more and more area farmers heading for the fields. You know you're supposed to be vigilant when you drive, but this time of year, it's even more important. Citizens National Bank of Albion, proudly serving Richland, Lawrence, Wayne, Edwards, and White counties with all the latest banking technologies. No better banking. Member FDIC and equal housing lender. Agriculture, town or country, we're all in this together.
Really is.
6:46 now. It's time for a visit with Sheldon Bunning from Le Mans Chevrolet Chrysler. Good morning, Sheldon.
Good morning, Mark.
How's it going this morning?
Sheldon, the project continues, Sheldon. You're going to look out your window and see old paint tomorrow.
Well, you may be getting like frequent flyer miles down here or something, you know.
You know what, Sheldon? I've had more than one person saying, why are you putting money into that old pickup truck? You could go down and see Shelton and buy a new one.
Well, I guess because you can, right?
I think my wife is looking the other way on the working with your service department versus working with your financing department, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. But
well, I had a little bit of that because I'd got to buying some Jeep parts, and I thought I could slip that through on the credit card bill, but it was substantial enough that I had to go ahead and pay that. That wasn't going to come out of the general fund, I guess.
Huh.
Yeah, well, she keeps pretty close track. I've got a short leash, if you know what I mean.
All right, Sheldon. Now, if he does decide he wants a new pickup truck, you can help him out, though.
We can.
What sort of deals you got going on?
We've got some amazing deals on the new 2019 Ram pickups. I think I've got one marked down up to $11,000 with the finance money and all the programs going on. And if you own a off-brand truck, a General Motors or a Ford pickup, you can actually save an additional $1,000. They've got some Conquest cash out there, so we've got those marked down. I think we've just got a couple left in the 18 Silverados, but I think we've got them all marked down 20% off of MSRP when you finance them through GM to get the extra cash. I got a few 18 heavy-duty Rams in stock. I think I'm just down to 2 or 3 of those. I think 3. I think I've got a couple 3/4 tons, and I've got one 1-ton chassis cab left.
Tell you what, you guys are getting new inventory in all the time. Every time I drive by, you've got a lot full of vehicles.
Yes. We need some more used ones, though, so we need to improve the ratio of the used to new there, so we'll liquidate these new ones and give you too much for your trade-in.
As far as financing is concerned, how easy is it to get financing at Le Mans?
It is very easy. Like I said, we've talked before. You can actually apply over the web if you'd like, or you can come by in person, and we'll take good care of you.
All righty. Sheldon, as always, thanks for joining us. We appreciate it. We'll talk to you Thursday morning.
All right. You guys have a great week.
All right. You too. Sheldon Mudding from Woman Chevrolet Chrysler joins us every Monday and Thursday right here on the WFIW Morning Show.
Radar Weather is sponsored by Conard Financial Group at 510 West Delaware in Fairfield, with securities offered through Raymond James. Conard Financial Group, investing in the community since 2003.
Are your retirement savings scattered about in several old 401ks and IRAs? Let Conard Financial Group provide you with education on what options you may have. Call Conard Financial Group at 842-7855 today and take control of your retirement assets. Raymond James Financial Services, member FINRA, SIPC. Life well planned. Like our page on Facebook, Conard Financial Group.
Fairfield area weather forecast calling for a 60% chance for rain today, high 52. Clear tonight, low 30. For tomorrow, sunshine, high 50. Sunny and 60 on Wednesday. For Thursday, cloudy skies, 65 the high. And the outlook for Friday, scattered showers with a high 65. Overnight low was 48. Yesterday's high was 56. An inch and 13/100ths of an inch of rainfall here at the WFIW studios yesterday. Currently, humidity at 100%, winds out of the north at 8 miles an hour, and the pressure at 29.97. Right now, we've got cloudy skies, 48 here at the WFIW studios east of Fairfield. Radar weather showing those pop-up showers still to the north of us this morning, moving to the south.
Radar Weather has been sponsored by Conard Financial Group at 510 West Delaware in Fairfield, with securities offered through Raymond James. Conard Financial Group, investing in the community since 2003.
The phone number to call in is 842-3715. Now, back to Morning Coffee on WFIW, YouTube, and WFIWradio.com.
Morning Coffee brought to you by TTT Designs at 1411 West Main in Fairfield. They're ready to complete your idea. Visit TTT at 1411 West Main in Fairfield.
I want to remind you about the radio auction coming up on Saturday morning, 9 o'clock. All 3 stations out here, actually all 4 stations, if you look at the signals. And remind you, there's just a bunch of stuff. You can go on the Big Deal Store and see some of the things that we're entering today that's going to be a part of that auction. Again, no cash or checks. It's all going to be done online with credit cards and debit cards.
On the Big Deal Store.
On the Big Deal Store.
All righty.
Walt, you brought in some trivia last time you were here, and we didn't get through all of it, did we?
No.
So you've got a great interest. I got to tell you, Mark, he knows his antique tractors. He knows them like the back of my hand. He's got quite a few of them. You still have quite a few, Walt?
Too many, my wife says.
He's a collector.
Yeah. I've enjoyed them and been doing it since like 63. And two years I judged them at the Indiana State Fair.
Wow.
So
they still all run, or most of them run, or some of them run?
You talking about mine? Or
yes.
Both. They're all stages. But you evolve, or at least I have, and now I guess my love is the big, what they call the muscle tractors, the big tractors of the really 60s and early 70s. 50-10 John Deere's, 50-20, 60-30s.
Lots of horsepower.
D21 Alice, 220 Alice. Yeah, the big horsepower tractor.
When's it considered to be an antique? What's the date, the year?
Well, I think some of these tractor drives, they use 30 years. And
that's practically new in some of these farms out here.
Right. Well, I still farm with them, with stuff older than that. But when I first started, we didn't want anything with an electric starter. Okay. And I didn't even want the late 30s stuff. I wanted the old hand crank Hubers, Moguls, Titans, oil pulls, and Altman Taylors.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'll start with the quiz. How How many tractor companies were there in 1917?
Okay, I'm going to guess 3. How about you, Turner?
4.
221.
Ah!
221!
Now,
You deked us.
We're going to tie that into another question
All right.
here.
How could there be that many tractor companies at that early stage? Because everybody was trying to get into the business.
Everybody and his brother, and some designs worked, some didn't. Now, what happened in 1921?
1921, that would have been
ag.
Yeah, okay. I'm trying to think about it. That was it was right after. Wasn't that right around the time that we had the Dust Bowl?
No, that Dust Bowl
was later, 10 years later.
Yeah.
All right.
It had to do with some type of farm machinery, didn't it?
Well, it touched on it later. What it was, after there was a huge boom after World War I. The demand for food and stuff, and the ag depression hit in 21.
Oh,
okay. And it was bad, and a lot of these 221 companies failed. I mean, a lot of them failed, and a lot of them got combined, like Altman Taylor and Baker went in with Alice Chalmers, and just
so
on
the
and
ag
on.
depression was a full almost 10 years ahead of the regular depression, Walt?
Yes.
Huh.
And
I didn't know that.
And it was it was serious too. And so, okay, more questions. What tractor was first to have electric start, lights, and ignition?
About 1 year are we talking about, Walt?
Well, that was the other question. 1917.
Oh, really? That early?
Huh?
Yeah.
I'm going to say a Ford.
Ford's an easy one.
Moline Universal.
Oh, I mean, was that the forerunner of John Deere or not?
No.
And there was another company in Moline?
Yeah.
Really? Son of a gun.
Moline Universal. Well, it could be, yeah. The old Minneapolis Moline, that's what my father-in-law had.
Minneapolis Moline.
When was the PTO developed?
What's a PTO?
Power
Teacher
Takeoff.
Organization.
You knew that.
No, I said parent-teacher
Oh,
organization.
no.
Power Takeoff, run your bush hog. Or...
I liked your answer better.
I'm going to say 1947.
1918.
Oh,
We're thinking
way off.
The tractors were much more advanced than even the auto industry back then.
Okay, which company?
You stick with your Ford.
Minneapolis Moline.
International.
International. Okay.
International. That's what my wife's grandfather was a big international
There
person.
you go. When were the Nebraska tractor tests started? And these tests are recognized worldwide on horsepower, fuel consumption.
Well, listen, we've been guessing around the Second World War, and you're telling us around the First World War, so I'm going to stick with 1920.
I'm going to go with 23.
Boy, you're close. 1919.
See, after you give us so many questions, we can catch on.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're trainable, aren't we, dude?
Okay. We may come back to that if we have time.
Yeah, we're like Pavlov's dogs.
Yeah,
man.
no, I'm like that because I drool a lot. Yeah.
Okay, when and who introduced the first rubber-tired tractor?
First rubber tire. So there were like wood tires?
Steel.
Yeah,
Steel
metal.
Okay.
Like the old steam engines.
I bet it was before 1920.
No.
No?
Well, you're wrong. You're wrong, Tractor Breath. You're wrong.
Okay, right.
Alice Chalmers, 1932. The WC Alice. You could order them with rubber tires.
Huh. But how many miles could you get on it? That's what I want to know. Were they steel belted?
Now this is an odd question, but what percent of the tractors used in Russia in 1927 came from the U.S.? Now that's a trivia question.
Yes, it is. So you're going to give us like we aren't going to have to get it exactly before you shake your head no, right, Walt?
If you get within 20%, I'll give you credit.
I'm going to say 100%.
I'm going to say 90%.
You're both close, 98%.
But you were closer.
You
if
know,
you round
that's a
up.
huge.
Yeah.
That is huge.
And
yeah.
how did they get them? They had to ship them over on ships. There's no dropping them from the air, that's for sure.
And one last question
right.
on the Fordsons.
You're
Not
a big Ford guy.
Fordsons. Yeah. What percent of the market did they have in 1926 here in the U.S.?
Fordson.
Made by Henry
Take a guess.
Ford.
32%.
I'm going to say 50%.
You're close, 60 to 75%.
And they ended up booting it because there's so much technology probably entered the place. Walt Townsend, who's always so informative. We know all about tomatoes now. We know a little bit about antique tractors. Thank you, Walt, and we'll have you back again. Thank you very much. Walt Townsend.
Thanks, Walt. We'll see you.
See ya.
News, talk, sports, and classic rock. This is the station listened to, not just heard. 104.9 WFIW Fairfield, Illinois.
Time now for the news, brought to you by Boyd Furniture and Mattress Center in downtown Wayne City. Stop by for a rest test. 20 mattresses on display. Try their adjustable beds for max